Hello. Today, we are doing another live stream. Sensational. And with me today is Jura Rose. Jura Rose, what are you doing here?
Hello.
Hello.
I have crashed the stream early.
That's right.
That's what the, yeah, I'm a Z-list celebrity who is overly demanding and causing you to wreak all havoc in your schedule.
I'm shook. To be fair, I did kind of wreak havoc a bit myself because we were meant to start this at 7:30, but we are starting it at 7:50 because I was asleep.
Yeah.
Oh.
So technically, everyone late.
Sorry.
We're technically late and early.
Yeah. Yes, we are both late and early at the same time. How quantum?
Well,
we are.
Do you know there's someone in the chat called Tater Dom. He has awesome hair and a mustache.
Tater Dom, how are you? I've seen Tater Dom here before. This isn't the first time, but I don't think it is him. I don't think that picture is him. I think that picture is someone else.
Is that you, Tater Dom?
Tater Dom, is that you with your big hair and your moustache and your glow? I will send a picture of it. I will send a picture of Tater Dom to Jura Rose. And we'll see what he thinks. We'll see what he thinks. Welcome to Paroli and Senji and Dushan and Monnier and Germs and everybody. Everybody who has joined the stream. Sorry?
It's our favorite Germs.
Our favorite Germs. Yes. We have caught our favorite Germs. Tater Dom says, yes, that's me back in the day. Outrageous. Which day?
Awesome hair.
It's such big hair.
Yeah.
It's a big weave.
That's L'Oreal advert worthy. I bet it's great in the air as it sort of whips.
Big whipping hair.
What's everyone's scent of the day? I'll get that in early so we can get the responses.
Yes.
What are you wearing? I didn't ask you what you're wearing.
What am I wearing? I'll tell you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing Tom Ford Noir Anthracite.
Wow.
Have you ever smelled that, Jura Rose?
Yes, I have. I cannot remember how it smells though.
Outrageous. It smells like smoky wood. It smells like charred. It smells like charred blackened wood. It's dry and woody and a little bit like coal, you know.
Yeah,
it's got that kind of jazz going on.
It sounds very working class Welsh man musk, you know.
Yeah, it has. It's got some Welsh working class about it, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's got some of that Welshness.
I'm wearing a Noir piece.
You're wearing a Noir piece. I've got a vintage one of them, you know.
A vintage one.
A vintage one.
I'm wearing a current one, and it's not bad. I mean, it's not one of those fragrances I think anyone screamed about reformulations, has it?
No, I don't. But I also don't think it's one of the most popular fragrances either. It's a big clove fragrance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a big clovey bastard. And the thing with those cloves is that it's a very particular. There's one way to split your audience up into different segments, and that's by making it a clove-centric fragrance.
You
know, that will definitely upset at least some people and make some other people very happy. You know,
yeah, clove is one of those interesting ingredients. I don't know if it's smoky or warm or fresh and cooling. You know, it's for me it does weird things, and how it interacts with different notes. It can go a darker way or a fresher way.
Yeah, it bends around a bit, doesn't it? You know, it moves, and you can manipulate it, and you can make it do bits. You know, you must work with Eugen quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it's very restricted. But clove bud, you can get clove bud without the a lot of the eugenol removed, and that's a very sort of warm, almost sweet, warm, woody note. If that makes sense, it's like imagine cedar wood, but like sweeter.
Sweet wood.
Yes, sweet wood.
Sweet wood.
Oh, did you hear that? I sent you. There's a new Tom Ford out. Funny enough, because you're wearing one. Amber Intrigue.
Yes. I have heard of this. The girl with the good arse was talking to me about it. She was saying, look, there's a new Tom Ford, but it's only available in the Harrods. It's a Harrods exclusive.
Okay.
And I was like, well, yeah, she doesn't work at Harrods. She works at the Fenwick. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, why? Why is it only available at the Harrods? But this is when she was telling us about Black Lacquer. And Black Lacquer is very nice. I think Black Lacquer is their best stuff they've done in years. Like, you know.
Well, I spoke to you what I think it smells like. It smells like a Roger fragrance to me.
Yes, you were telling us. Tell everyone what you think it smelled like.
Well, I need to go back to it, but when I smelled it, it reminded me of Roger's Sultan of Oman.
How interesting.
Yes. I have a little sample of that Sultan of Oman somewhere, and I will actually go in and test it.
Ooh.
And I can come back and say I was completely wrong, but it did sort of take me to that part of Roger's Gulf perfumery.
You've been to Roger's Gulf, have you?
Oh God. Well, he's in Paris releasing a new fragrance. Lost in Paris.
Oh God. I was going to ask you whereabouts in Paris, but obviously he's lost, so we don't know.
Yeah. He's completely lost. Do you want to find him?
Not hugely. I'm happy to let him stay. Stay lost. You know?
He's probably stuck in some cabaret bar. No, he's got a new one called Lost in Paris, which apparently is a real big gourmand. Big vanilla, smells like pancakes. Well, I haven't smelled it. I can't judge it, so. Yeah, scented moment. It's €1,000.
Oh God. Oh, that's outrageous. €1,000 for a Roger.
Well, that's
Swine.
Have shock.
Yes, shock, horror. I mean, how good can this fragrance be?
God knows. But I'd say it does well. It will do well.
Have you smelled it?
I mean, well, the fact that it's a gourmand, Roger has a name. It's called Lost in Paris. It has jewels. There will be clients who absolutely eat that stuff up. I'm sure, quite literally. Well, DJ is not happy about smelling like diabetes.
Well, I mean, you know, the stench of diabetes lingers throughout the land at the minute, I'm afraid. You know?
£1,000 to smell like £1,000.
Yes, that's right. Whereas you could have just kept £1,000 and smelled like that anyway. Kolben Klaus, welcome to you. You are wearing Bellamy by Hermes. I have a vintage. And it is good.
Oh, I wore Bellamy the other day.
Ooh.
Interesting. For the first time in ages. Yes.
Why?
Do you know what? I was, you know, when you sort of looking through all your fragrances, and I thought, I haven't worn that in a while. I wasn't even craving it or anything. I just put it on.
Do you have a vintage?
No, my bottle's about 5-6 years old.
No, yeah, it's getting up there, you know.
Don't say that. Time goes so quickly.
Time goes by quite quickly. Sorry.
Roger Dove did a brilliant lecture on perfumes through decades. Yeah, I've seen that. It's quite an old video on YouTube. I think I've watched
There's two.
twice.
There's a new one he's released. He's released another version of the same video like yesterday or something.
Oh, really? Is it the same content?
Same talk. It's the same content, the same talk, but it's a version where you can actually hear what he's saying.
Oh,
you know?
Okay. He's got a mic.
Yeah, they've mic'd him up and done it properly this time, so
Okay.
that'll be what's going on. Oh no.
I mean, the man, I always say it, he knows a lot about perfume history.
Oh God Almighty, he's incredible. He's absolutely sensational. That's what he should do, in my opinion. That's what he should do. He's an incredible public speaker. He's an incredible fucking teacher, historian. He's probably got the best vintage collection in the world, unless there's some absolutely outrageous billionaire out there who doesn't wish to share and fucking is sitting on there like fucking with vintage bottles of Chanel and all of that.
Yeah.
Roger's probably got one of the best fucking collections in the world. You've seen him whipping out all those bottles.
I mean, he's had access to them and collecting perfume back since the 80s and stuff, I'd say. When you could probably pick up bottles of things now that you'd die for much easier, you know?
Yeah. And he's been friends with people as well. I can imagine little old grandmas and stuff like that leaving him stuff in his will because, you know what, little old women and tarts are like. I bet there's some little old women who are leaving you stuff in their will.
If it's perfume, I'm not minding.
I was gonna say, yeah, I wouldn't mind being left. Yeah.
Didn't you get a bottle of Chanel No. 5 from your grandmother or something?
No.
Or am I completely wrong?
Completely wrong.
Why did I think that? She wore it, no?
No.
No?
Nope.
Well, you've been telling me Porky sometime.
Someone's been telling you Porky's about something because it ain't me. That's an outrageous accusation. I have not one bit.
Pradeep says you are our grandma. Who? Rich.
Definitely you.
See, I feel like you're the grandma and I'm not the auntie.
You're the what? Oh,
yeah, I'm that party auntie, you know?
Tarty auntie.
The tarty auntie.
You are
Laura G's popped up.
Hello.
Hello,
I've been talking to Laura G. I've been talking to Laura G today. I said hello. She said hi. But she's been very busy at work.
I hope you're okay, Mrs. G.
Rich Mitch is the gardener's grandma. He brings us baked goods. It's true. I do take them baked goods. I do. I turn up. I've yet to learn how to knit for them yet, but I will. I will knit.
You need to knit them a jumper for Christmas. That's what
right.
you should do.
I should be knitting.
Actually, you said to me today to start knitting in bed. You should start it.
You are definitely the type of man to knit. You are definitely the style of man to knit in bed one day in your future. I see it. I say it one day in your future. Definitely. You know,
I won't deny it.
You are.
I would not deny that. Do you know when people forebode my truth, like my future, sometimes I have to look and I think, do you know what, you might have a point there. And I think this time you might actually have a point.
I think I've got a point. I definitely think you're in the knitting vein. You and Lee, you know, in bed knitting socks.
You have a point, and I'll have the needles.
Oh, I do not wish. Laura G is going to do a how to crochet YouTube tutorial. I imagine that will be fire. People will love that stuff, you know. Like
Laura,
that is.
teach me.
Laura G needs to make some cat content because the people are enamored by her cats. They wish to see them.
The cats.
She
can knit a cat jumper. Well, cats hate those things, though. My God, you put it on and it just freaks out.
She could knit. She could knit a cat, or she could knit with the cat there. You know, she could have a cat sleeping next to her, and if she was knitting, then that would just cover so many YouTube bases that I think the platform might explode.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The platform loves that shit. Like, they fucking absolutely love shit like that.
I could probably knit out of Baymax's hair.
He is shedding a lot. His winter coat is coming. You know?
Yeah.
He loves a bit of that. He loves a bit of that. Jura Rose, tell me.
Yes.
Have you been wearing your Champaca Absolute?
I have. I haven't worn it in a good couple of weeks. I'd say a couple of months. But it's one of those that, because I actually prefer it in this time of year, coming into when it's a bit more cooler, darker. It just, you know, some fragrances, even if they're not warm, they just pierce the air nicely in the cool weather.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And it does that.
Yeah.
And it's strong. It's a strong fragrance. It's one in high heat, it would give me a bit of a headache. It's powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely that old Tom Ford kind of type of like philosophy of like fucking be big and bold and strong, you know.
It's a tart.
It's a what?
It is a tart. That fragrance is a tart.
A tarty fragrance.
We use that word way too much, but that it's pertinent for that fragrance.
You're a big fan. See if we can get some more. I picked up the reason I ask is because I recently picked up a discontinued Tom Ford at a very good price. And I was wondering whether the people would also like the opportunity to own some. Because a friend of mine and the channel and yours and everyone's, Dan from Les Odorants, has a litre of Patchouli Absolute by Tom Ford. And he sold me 100 ml. And he is selling 100 ml bottles of this motherfucking perfume. He is selling different sizes. I don't know what exactly the sizes are or how much he's charging yet. But if I do this, then you can see my motherfucking t-shirt. That is not what I was expecting. Okay,
is that a blue t-shirt or is it white? What color is that?
No, it's definitely blue. It's like a light blue. You know?
Oh, okay.
It's a light blue. It's a light blue Jura Rose.
Very nice.
Let me show you the camera facing the back, and then put this on. There is. Well, I don't want to remove from stage. I just want to put in solo layout. There he is. That is the bottle it will come in. There it is. I think this is one of his Soma scent bottles, you know. But on the bottom, it has a sticker. And the sticker says, Tom Ford Patchouli Absolute. And this has been something I have been looking for a long time. It is something I have wanted to get, but I didn't want to pay the eBay prices. But Dan has managed to secure a litre of the goo, and it is the stuff. It is the stuff that we want. He can also ship around the world. Ooh. Would you believe? Because his brand, his brand, he has one of those worldwide shipping. He has one of those worldwide shipping licenses, which I didn't know about, but he has it. So he is selling those, and I believe he can ship around the world. So,
do you know shipping? For some reason, it's really hard to ship to Chile at the moment.
interesting.
Like, a lot of shipping companies won't ship to Chile. I don't know why.
Has there been some kind of revolution there?
I don't know. I don't know if this is at all relevant. There might be someone from Chile here that they might need to check it out. But I know there's issues.
Oh God! I wonder what's going on in Chile. I wonder if Pinochet's coming back. The horrible fuck.
God knows.
Bad beast. Yeah.
Oh, you should take that patchouli absolute to the girl at Tom Ford and sort of show off and say, look what I got.
See if I can get her to take her pants off.
Well, okay, I never went that far.
Oh,
I never went that far, Rick. You know, you have to take them out for a coffee first.
Oh, not coffee. Coffee's weird. Coffee's weird. Maybe it's a cup of tea. So would you like to come and have a cup of tea? Do some crochet, you know? Or we could do some crochet together. You could pop up and just be like, oh, hello. I am the fairy crochet mother.
Do you have a cat?
Yes. Do you have a cat?
Material.
You know, we could employ Baymax to help us in this endeavor and say, hello, here is a cat. Here is some knitting. How are you doing? Would you like to come and like knit with us on a date over a cup of tea?
Yeah.
You know?
Why not?
It will be fun. I don't know. We know how to party. We know how to get down. We're interesting. We're interesting people. You know? So
people going. So I'm reading the comments.
Oh. She could have a biscuit. They don't do Saint Ginny. They don't do cornflake crispies anymore. We could make her some cornflake crispies. We could show a discontinued confectionery along with the discontinued perfumes.
Yeah, Rice Krispie cake.
Less so. Less into Rice Krispie cake. I don't know why. Cornflake cake seems more. I don't know. I like cornflake cake more. Seems more kind of. I don't know. Like, how can I put it? Cornflake cake seems more kind of up market.
Cool. What about
we'll put like a Cadbury's mini egg on it?
Would you ever make it out of a Weetabix? Have you ever experimented with the cereal you could make these cakes out of?
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
What about granola, or is that too healthy?
My head has gone. My head has completely gone with what you're saying at the minute.
All bran.
I've actually got some fruit and fiber downstairs, and I love it. Like, I really love like all bran with fucking fruit in it. It's got dried banana. Sorry?
Yeah. Do you like dried banana? I find it breaks your teeth.
It's hard stuff, isn't it?
It is.
It's hard stuff. You know, it's kind of like World War II food. You know, dried banana is the type of stuff that doesn't go off until like the year fucking 8000 or something.
Have you tried dried mango?
Oh God, no! Outrageous.
It's like it's got like a green tea, fishy, and I thought maybe I'm getting the cheap stuff. Someone brought some good stuff back from the Philippines, still the same, and it's a weird chewy texture. It's like eating flesh. Like
flesh?
It's leathery. It's weird. Yeah.
How do you know what eating flesh is like?
Well, I can just, just your imagination, but you get what I mean. No, you don't get what I mean. You could possibly get what I mean.
Fucking Jura Rose revealing his Ed Gein side here, you know.
Well, let's get
making
back to Special
lampshades.
K and chocolates, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we
I
do
will. I
Special
will. I
K.
could. I could take my Tom Ford Patchouli Absolute in and say, "Ooh, smell! I bet you haven't smelled this for a while." And she'd be like, "Ooh, how impressive!" You know, like I am definitely someone who is into my vintage, rare, and discontinued scents, and this is very on brand for me. You know, I do like a Tom Ford bottle, but fortunately, Dan provided one of his own bottles, so it's like better than like one of the ones I'd have used. You know,
Yeah.
like it's definitely better than one of the ones I'd have used because I just use the ones that you get from Ampula. You know, or Ampula apparently, allegedly. Ampula is how you pronounce it. So
Okay.
I
Well,
would,
where did you get the bottle?
sorry.
Is it just like, is it the bottle it's in? I never really got to see it. Is it just like a little?
No, it's one of those 1 liter dram bottles. Did you see it? Oh, Houdini's here. But dried mango isn't properly dry for some reason. I quite like it though. Welcome, James. How you doing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's not like hard. It's like it's tough. It's leathery.
So it's still got some wetness to it.
Not wetness. It's not
Well, then what?
wetness. I don't really. It's not moist. It's dry, but it doesn't go hard.
Intriguing. It's I'm struggling to picture this texture. I'm not going to lie to you.
Go get some. Try some. Try some dried mango. You might enjoy it.
Laura G says the M&S dried mango in chocolate, 10 out of 10. I can imagine you eating some dried mango in chocolate, Jura Rose. That definitely sounds like something you would do.
It sounds odd. I'll try it. I'll try
It's
it. I
I
like
think
raisins.
I wonder, Laura G, do you like mango anyway? Because it strikes me as that you would have to be like a mango fan to even like approach that kind of shenanigan.
No, but for me, like any dried fruit, like you don't have to like grapes to like raisins. Do you know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
true. That's true. I like raisins. They're in my fruit and fiber. Waitrose
Yeah.
do dried mango dipped in chocolate as well. That's Houdini showing off his tarty side. He goes to Waitrose. You know,
Oh, dried figs. Have you tried dried figs and chocolate? That's a Spanish thing. I've had those.
I've never
But
tried dried figs and chocolate.
they're weird. They can be a bit weird. You have to try and find nice ones.
Strange. I've had these dates from Saudi Arabia, and they are some of the most outrageous things I have ever eaten. A very nice person gave me some dates. Was it
Mm.
dates? Yes, it was dates. Dates from Saudi Arabia in these kind of it's kind of like a goo, like a sauce, but it's like syrup. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
oh God, they were incredible. They melted in your mouth. Wow. You know what I mean? Just wow. He smuggled them in. You know, it was good stuff. I shit you
Yeah.
not. I highly recommend it. Like one day we
Mm.
will have Houdini on stream. You know,
Yes. And talk
it's
all sorts of dried fruits.
yes, all sorts of dried fruits. Yes, we could have like a dried fruit live stream. You know,
Yeah. Oh, someone says, can I elaborate on smelling Ottoman Empire and it making me angry? It made me angry because what I just found it a mess. And just
okay.
all the
Is
talk
that
of all
the
these,
is that that's
yeah,
the original door, isn't it?
and all the talk of all these lovely material. It made me angry because actually, if you took more ingredients out of that fragrance, it probably smelled better. It just
Okay.
smelled muddy and a mixture. It was just no. I was just like, what is this?
I must admit, a Riche is not my thing. I always get this kind of stale kind of smell from a Riesler Doré, you know, like everything smells a little bit like grandma's kitchen, you know, like cabbage, like boiled cabbage seared into the walls and stuff like that. Like it's got a stale smell, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Actually, there's one I didn't mind, and it was the Civet de Nuit.
I'll tell you, I've got a couple. To be fair, the Rose de Taille thing's quite nice, but the Baikal Gris, is it Baikal Gris? The Baikal Gris.
Brie, like the chocolate. Sorry, the cheese. So in my mind, it's I haven't had dinner anyone, and just the thought of chocolate's making me hungry. But like the cheese, brie.
No, Baikal Gris, as in grey, as in ambergris.
I thought it was Baikal Brie. I was
Oh, Baikal Brie. Dear me, you must be hungry. That's quite potent, though, isn't it? You know, Baikal Gris, like a Baikal Brie, even. That's quite a potent. Brie's quite a potent goo. You know.
Well, thinking ouds, you know, all these sort of blue cheese notes. And why not brie from Lake Baikal?
Good Lord, blue cheese. Blue cheese is rough. And Laura G says, "Oh, I'd imagine Grandma's kitchen so smell warm and welcoming and baking-y. We obviously had different kitchens. You described like an old people's home smell. Yes, like my grandma's kitchen smelled of cabbage, like boiled cabbage and stuff like that. It's kind of grim.
Yeah.
She wasn't a big baker, my grandma. My mom's a baker. My mom likes this time of year because she picks the berries off the she picks the blackberries off the trees and puts them into pies, and we eat them.
Oh, nice. Do you like rhubarb?
My uncle used to grow rhubarb. Rhubarb's a little tart for me, you know. You're about as tart as I want to go, Jura.
I like rhubarb. I think it's nice.
It's a little bit too tart, you know. It's a little bit too tart for me. Like I get this kind of almost metallic kind of thing from it that I'm not massive on, you know. So
Are you more a pie or a crumble person, though?
Crumble. Good God, crumble.
I agree.
Lord. Crumble's immense.
Yeah. I think in America, for American, I think they call it a cobbler. I think that's the name for it in the US. Cobbler? Is this? Am I wrong? Someone correct me.
You get peach cobbler over there, don't you? But I don't know what that is now that you've said that it could be a crumble.
I think it is a crumble. Or something very close to a crumble.
We need Rachel here. Rachel would be able to tell us, I feel. I don't know why. I just get the feeling she would know. You know?
Yeah.
She's kind of
loving the crumble. We're all for the crumble here.
She's our resident kind of, you know, Americana expert. You know? She knows her stuff. What a cobbler is. When I think cobbler, I think fucking like 1950s shoemaker. You know? Cobbler is with flaky pastry, not crumble, says Houdini.
Oh well, I got my crumble cobblers mixed up.
Got to be careful getting that shit mixed up. Don't want to hear that. You know, the Americans will not be happy knowing that you've mixed up that you've culturally misappropriated their things. You know.
Well, they love a pie. They love a pie, but they do very different pies. I mean, they do apple pie a lot and berry pies, but they have things like sweet potato pie and pecan pie and
bleh. Sweet potatoes.
Did you just heave?
A little bit, yeah. Sweet potatoes, grim.
Is that your trigger word? If I send you voice notes going sweet potatoes, you're just going to go every time.
It's not the word; it's the thought of the food. You know, I let my guard down for a second, and you completely fucked us up. Like I can't be dealing with sweet potatoes. Like they're grim as fuck. They're so dark. You know what I mean? Oh, they're so rough.
Have you ever tried the purple one?
I'm sorry?
You can get purple sweet potatoes. They're a little sweeter.
I've had yams before.
No, it's not a yam.
Yams are like maroon, aren't they?
Yeah, but then it's also kind of white. But the purple sweet potato, it's like a normal sweet potato, but the inside of being orange, it's bright. I mean, vivid purple.
I don't know that I want to eat purple stuff. You know? Do I want to eat purple foods? I mean, what other foods are there that are purple? Not that aren't berries, you know? So it would have to be
Don't get me on beetroot.
Oh God! Beetroot's so bad. Do you want to tell the people about what happened to you?
No. I mean, I'm drinking beetroot juice. I'm not into like beetroot, like the actual vegetable. Like I wouldn't eat it, but I don't mind beetroot juice. And yeah, the next day it's scary. Okay, it's scary.
Jura's being caught out with fucking purple poo.
Okay, well, thanks.
He got a terrifying message off him this morning.
Yeah, I did have a panic attack. I was like, I'm gonna have to see a doctor.
Yes, that's right. He was struggling. He was struggling. He thought it was all over, didn't you?
Yeah.
We were both preparing. I was writing eulogies. You know,
this could have been the last stream. You know,
this could have been the last stream. It could have been. Could have had to have called it the purple stream. You know, absolutely devastating. It's not what you want, is it? Purple pain. Purple pain. It's not ideal, like, you know. Yeah. You don't want that shit. Moving on, what have you been smelling recently that you think is good, bad, or indifferent? You've smelled the new Hermes, haven't you?
Barenia. Yeah, it's very commercial. I actually, I mean, for me personally, I find the oakwood thing a little interesting in it. But you'd actually have to smell oakwood in isolation to think, oh, let's actually put in there. And I do, it does pop through. There's that sort of weird, sort of boozy. I mean, if anyone is smelling it, then you can imagine sort of like the bottom of a whiskey glass the day after. That type of smell, the sort of remnants.
So how have they achieved that? Have they used the amber wood to achieve that dark woody kind of like effect? Mm-hmm. Have they used? Yeah.
I mean, when you say dark woody, what do you mean?
So amber wood you can use sometimes to give like a dark, like a dark wood kind of smell, you know? Like that's the problem with these big synthetics. They've got more of like a vibe than they have an actual smell. So when you try to say like, oh, like was it like this? Was it like that? Like, you know, like they don't smell like a particular kind of thing. They've got a vibe more than anything else. So what I'm saying is, right, how do you think they have achieved the oak wood smell? What have they done? Good night, Laura G.
Oh, okay. So the oak wood. No, when I say oak wood, there's literally a material called oak wood, and it is actually an extraction from the actual barrels, which you'd make whiskey in that from. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, I mean, if I ever next time I meet you, I'll bring it, and you can smell it. If you smell it, it just smells like a pub. It's that that you can smell booze breath and the floors. Just the smell of the alcohol leaking from the taps. It smells pub like, and that does come through. I mean, it's hidden under a lot of the other stuff like the cassis and the what do you call it, the white florally stuff that's in there. But it's definitely in the background, and it gives a booziness that I think you can pick up on if you smell it again. You think, oh, okay, I can get a boot, and that booziness would be coming from the oak wood.
Right.
And what I'm trying to extract from this, when I smell it, it's the first time I've really smelled a fragrance, and I was like, oh, it's actually being used here, and it's kind of sort of doing something,
Yeah. Like it's an actual smell in and of itself.
Yeah. It's a natural material, by the way. It's an extraction. It's not a synthetic.
So I thought it might have been like an accord, or it might have been like a trick of the perfumer, you know,
Well,
like it was like a fantasy note type thing.
No. I mean, she could have built an accord around it to sort of boost it, which you can do, but it's definitely there. I mean, for me, the fragrance is a little bit sweet for me to like it anyway, and there's a slight. Do you know what? I actually have the sample near me. If I spray it, I can speak more clearly on it.
Please do.
Can you hear this? I'll put it up against the speaker because I know everyone loves this sound. Ready?
Go.
Can you hear that?
Oh, I can.
Okay, yeah. Well, everyone wet their knickers.
Oh.
There is definitely a sweetness here that if I wore it, it'd probably get on my tits. So it's not something I would personally enjoy wearing. I don't think it's Christine Nagel's strongest work by far. That's me putting it politely.
What do you think that Christine Nagel's finest work is?
Finest work. God, that's hard. Because I actually know there's a lot of perfumes she's done in the past that I think are quite good. She did some. She did one for Etat Libre d'Orange. I liked. I didn't mind. I can't remember which one is it again.
Is it the Marquis de Sade one?
No, is it Herman?
Herman Menacot.
Is it that one? I mean, okay. I'll just stick with Hermes for now. I mean, a couple of the ones she did for the Hermes Essence are quite good. I mean, I think Cedra Sandbach is nice. I thought Violinka was quite good. I have Agara Ben. I like Agara Ben. I think it's a really nice leather fragrance. It has blackcurrant bud sort of thing going on in there, which I think is lovely. Galop. What
Galop's
else?
amazing.
I actually don't mind H24. I know people hate it. Yeah, I have a bottle of the original. For me, it's my type of sort of like shaving gel scent. It's of all the shaving gel sort of scents you can buy, I actually like it, and that's why. I'm trying to think. She hasn't done some bad things. Even people mentioned the rhubarb one. She did the rhubarb cologne thing. That's actually quite decent.
Rhubarb Epaulet.
Yeah. The basil one was not amazing.
No.
What else? No,
Dahlia says she's done a lot of Jo Malone.
I haven't smelt Paddock, so I can't judge on that one.
What? I love Paddock. I think Paddock's some of our best stuff, if I'm honest. It's fantastic. It really is pretty great.
Is it horsey? Or is it?
No, it's not necessarily horseish. You know, it's not particularly horseish, if I'm being honest. It's got elements of horse in it. It's like fantasy horse. Do you know what I mean? It's got fantasy horse in it. So there's like a chestnut vibe in it, which gives it this kind of brownness, like, and it's meant to have like a manure note in it and stuff like that, but you really, really have to close your eyes and squint a lot to try and pull that one out. You've got to do a lot of like mental. You've got to do a lot of like mental gymnastics to try and pull that out of your bum, to smell that.
Well, I'm very proud of you of all those metaphors that you use there, Rich.
Well, thank you very much.
Clearly, I've been rubbing off on you, metaphorically speaking.
Yes, I was gonna say, pervert. The stream has got fucking X-rated. Jura Rose has been rubbing off on me.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I mean, the one thing I can sort of, my mind is drawing me towards. Remember, she released that the Jardin one, the Greek one that's very nutty. I mean, has it got any elements of that?
I want to say not massively. I remember somebody mentioned that it could smell like that one, and I smelled it, and I was like, no. And then I smelled it after I'd smelled Paddock, and I was like, no, it doesn't. You know what I mean? So I think we're in the clear as far as that's concerned. You know, I don't think that it does smell like that. I'd be devastated if it was like an eau de parfum version of a fucking of one of those. I'd be wounded. You know, because it'd be like, well, I feel cheated. But I don't.
Someone said it's Archive 69. Yes, that's the one. I think, yeah.
I think it was proud of
that. Like, yeah, I remember it's like a plummy. It has a slight vintage vibe to it as well. I found it quite an interesting one. I think that, yeah. I mean, Christine Nagel was one of those people though. She can pop up in the most random perfume places. You know, you can look at a fragrance and you think, oh, she did that.
Yes. Apparently, she did Narciso Rodriguez for her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She did that with Kirk John, Captain Kirk. You know.
Well, sometimes when I see Kirk John as a sort of collaborator, I always wonder how much he actually did.
Yeah, he was probably in the room for a couple of minutes. Maybe he's just passing through, but he's demanded that he had his name attached to it. You know. He seems like that type of person. Like he's done fuck all at Dior. I told the sales associate the other day that I thought he'd been a disaster.
How did that go down? Is that when you?
Fair play to her, you know, right? I'll tell you what. She was like, "Oh, Richard, thank you so much for the feedback. It really means a lot." And then she was like, "However, I could give you a good price on all 5 of these fragrances today." And I was like, Jesus, it never ends. You know? Like, yeah, I berated. Sorry?
I smelled some of them. They weren't great.
They're not very good, are they? They're just not very good at all. Like, they're just selling really expensive stuff while the quality gets worse. And just, they're either hoping that no one notices or that people just have that kind of gene where they're like, oh, I want to buy like shit stuff for a lot of money because other people can't afford it. You know? Yeah. That's what they want to do.
To be honest with you, there's nothing yet that Dior Francis Kurkdjian has done that I find is actually creative yet. I think New Look wasn't great. I feel it just smells like an aldehydic accord. It needs more fleshing out. That was what I found from it. I was just like, it needs more. The Dior Riviera was a very standard fig. Like, it's not like, even if a fig's done, even if you're going to do something routine, this is how, when I'm smelling and if I'm interested, even if it's something really routine as a fig, if it's doing something interesting or it's done in a really beautiful way, then I can sort of, okay, fine. But it wasn't. Those elixirs. I mean, I no one believes the story that he picked those 5 because they meant something to him.
Yeah.
The Eau Forte Sauvage. Like, they're just
even
really,
the bros haters.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be fair, like Demashi was doing a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, Demashi was definitely performing a lot more than what Kurkdjian has been. But it's like some people thought that things could only get better when Demashi fucked off, and yet somehow they've got worse.
Yeah.
You know? Like, somehow, like, Kurkdjian has contrived to make everything worse. And it was bad news when they picked him. Have you read what he said about when he applied for the job?
Yeah, I know it was a lot
It
of
was
self-confidence.
pretty. I mean, self-confidence one way of putting it. Yeah, cocky little fucker the other way of putting it. You know what I mean? For a person who's like, not really done anything, you know,
Mm.
like, what the fuck are you talking about, you cheeky bastard? He didn't even say please.
I watched there was a documentary film about him when he came to Dior, um, and he's talking about creating a new flanker for J'adore Law, and it's like a whole documentary. And when you smell the thing, you have to be someone who's really into your perfume now. Watch the documentary and then go and smell the perfume, and then you'll get everything. That's all I'm going to say. I will not put any ideas in your head. Make your own, come to your own conclusions. Watch it. I think it's only an hour to waste, and then go and smell the fragrance. You know,
I'm scared. I didn't want it to be this way. I wanted it to be better. I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be like, you know, I wanted it to be improvement. I mean, they should have got someone like Julian Raskin, or like even fucking not, maybe it's not Quentin Biche, but someone, someone young and angry who was going to do something fucking mental, like, do you know what I mean?
do you know who I
Rather
think's
than
quite a decent young perfumer? Sonia Constant.
Sonia Constant.
She did ombre leather, for example.
You know what the problem with ombre leather is? It smells too much like Tuscan leather.
It is and isn't for me. Like it is. I mean, for me, it's more jasmine-y and drier, and actually, it smells closer to leather. And also, she did Tom Ford Noir Extreme, um, and she's the type of person I could see that she probably could do quite decent if she went to a big house.
I would like to see someone younger. Um, I would like to see someone younger who does some interesting stuff rather than like someone who's just been brought in to do the same old fluff, the same old shit, the same old, like, someone who's already been there and done it. Like, kind of shows where LVMH are at as far as the perfumes are sort of concerned. Like,
Yeah.
they are just they're really concerned with like the safe bet. They see it as a really, really profitable, high margin kind of like facet of the business where um, really stuff like fucking artistry and innovation is not the name of the game, and it would just be better all round if people would just follow the data trends and just do what they are supposed to do and buy the fucking perfumes. Just turn up, buy the perfume, shut up, buy more of the perfume.
Do you know? But I'm still of the opinion that I don't really care who the in-house perfumers are anymore. Get a good creative director, and then and make perfumers compete. Put out a brief, and then whoever fits that brief and gets creative. I mean, I think sometimes when you're an in-house perfumer, it's your hands are almost more tied. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like most of the fragrances that we see are great. It wasn't usually an in-house perfumer. It's there's a creative director, and then they put out a brief, and then all these perfumers compete, and then the best one wins. Actually, it's a model that usually is much better for perfumery.
Well, it's certainly produced better perfumes. It's certainly produced historically, like the quality of perfumes historically was much better than what it is now. Um, so,
Mm.
like, we're kind of, it does feel like creatively we're stuck in a.
Well, DJ mentioned Dior's fashion as well. I don't know if people are much into the fashion side of the house, but that to be honest with you, there's people more passionate about how shit the fashion side is than the perfume.
Has the fashion turned to shit, has it?
Absolutely. It's just, it's very uninspired, let's put it that way. The head designer, what's her name? It will come to me. Maria Grazia. She seems to be stuck in this sort of Greek era, and everything just seems very uninspired. And people, I mean, there's people I know who are very passionate about fashion, and trust me, they're even more passionate than we are talking about Demachi and Eugen. Yeah. So I don't know. There's something happening in Dior on many levels.
Yeah. It sounds a bit sad, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what you need. Jacob on the stream. He can really take you to town on that end.
I like the way Jacob talks about the history of fashion and stuff like that, and the context around fashion, that kind of thing.
There is a little overlap between perfume and fashion, though.
Yeah, of course there is.
It does. There will be an influence, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. There is. Like,
well, DJ said Maison Margiela is good, but that's because it's John Galliano, who was at Dior, but then he got sacked for saying Nazi comments. But he was probably the greatest designer of his generation. But he's at Maison Margiela now, and they are doing creative things. But the problem is, can he get someone in to sort of create some really good perfumes? Because who knows, Maison Margiela might be the fucking perfume house to save us in designer realms.
Maison Margiela makes some shit stuff.
Yeah, they're crap. But well, I'm being harsh. my subjective opinion is they're crap. But if you like the fragrances, I'm not going to hate you people.
They're crap. I'm not a fan. You know, I think they're a bit poor, if I'm honest. But what can you do? It's funny. It's funny because I don't know how much John Galliano is involved with perfume. You know, I don't know that he ever has been.
I know he loves his Guerlain. He has many.
Has he got a collection? Has he?
He does.
Interesting.
Big B bottles.
He's got his B bottles. Oh, you must follow him on Instagram. I was going to say, how do you know that? Is he on the Instagram? Is he on the Instagram?
Yeah, sorry.
Sick.
Yeah.
Instagram. I'm not a fan.
Well, you should be on Instagram. I will get you on there one day, I'm sure.
Nah. Shite. It's not my thing at all. Like, you know, it's just.
Rich, you need to hydrate.
I am hydrating. Leave me alone. I'm hydrating like fuck.
I can tell your mouth's dry. I'll talk to the people.
It is extremely dry, to be fair. I don't know why, but it is dry. It's very dry.
What's everyone wearing? I asked you before, but I think I ignored it. We didn't really look. Plus, also, there wasn't as many people then when I asked.
That's true. Tell us what your scents of the day are, people. Mine is Noir Anthracite. Jura Rose.
In Noir Peace.
Is that a bottle or is it a sample?
No, I just sprayed it from the tester this morning.
All right.
It was there, and I just thought, why not? Oh, Pradeep's in Noir Pieces. Oh, snap Pradeep.
Outrageous. I've got a vintage bottle of Noir Peace, Pradeep. A vintage bottle. It's not the matte cap one. It's the one where they changed from the matte cap, but before they went to Estee Lauder. You know. So that was it's just got something extremely clovey about it. You know.
And it's quite. Maybe your version is a bit more clovey because Eugen has been restricted over time in clove, so it could be actually a little bit more clovey than it currently.
What else can you use Eugenol to make?
Carnation.
Okay. Because you see Eugenol in a lot of perfumes, but not necessarily in a lot of clovey perfumes. So there's a lot of perfume. What?
It's basically carnation is a very clovey, heavy sort of floral note. So you'd use Eugenol to sort of push it in that direction. It's partly why you don't see as many carnations, because it's obviously a heart note, and heart notes need to be big, and then Eugenol's restricted, so you can't put as much Eugenol, so you can't make a carnation as strong. Does that make sense?
Yes. That's upsetting. Herb says it's in Rose Absolute, right? Says Herb.
Yeah, it's in many things. I think there's Eugenol even in things like tonka bean absolute and vanilla bean. It's in a lot of stuff. But I wouldn't use. I mean, you could put a touch of Eugenol into a rose, but you'd have to be careful because you will turn it into a carnation. You know, once that Eugenol becomes prominent. But it's not one of those things that you would use. Like I wouldn't make a tonka bean accord with Eugenol. Do you know what I mean? It's
interesting. Interesting. Jura, are you going to smell the new Les Indémodables?
Which one? I haven't smelled the orange Sirocco. I haven't smelled the oud one.
You've smelled patchouli noisette though.
Yeah, and I do you know what? I stand my ground in my assessment on that one. It's actually, if the more I smell it, the more it confirms what I think of it in a weird way.
Yeah. Do you want to remind everybody what you think about it?
I was with actually DJs in the chat. It was DJ who gave me the sample.
Okay.
Outside of Harrods, and he gave it to me. And when I smelt it, I was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Is it because I've just been in Harrods that my mind is taking me to this Arabic style rose heavy fragrance?" Because I got a lot of cypriol and rose in the opening, so like a rose cypriol thing, and we know, you smell that in any sort of rose oud style fragrance. I wouldn't go as far as say it's a rose oud. And I was like, "What's going on here? Where's the noisette? Where's the?" I can get the patchouli, but it's like I wasn't all enamored. Like I know it's supposed to be an amazing patchouli oil, but I mean, there's beautiful patchouli materials. There's a material like patchouli coeur, like patchouli heart. When you smell that, it's really enriched in patchouli oil, which is the sort of warm patchouli, chocolatey feeling you get from patchouli. That's a beautiful material, and I've smelled that in fragrances, and it really sings. So I was very disappointed with it. And the more I smelt it and I wore it, I was kind of in denial, to be honest with you. I was like, no, surely not, surely not. I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it just is what it was, and I just didn't think it was anything great.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's coming for someone. I mean, I have two of their fragrances, and I like them, but no, I wasn't too pleased with it. I tried Harrod. Pradeep doesn't like it. I like it. It just shows you that you can agree with someone on many things, and then your taste can diverge you sometimes. So
yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Taste's a very strange thing. Is taste. There's no accounting for taste, as I often say. I would never fall out with someone on on a matter of taste. Like the Luca Turin thing, I fell out with Luca Turin because basically he insulted Eugene. Not because he hated fucking Les Abstrait or what was it? What was Descendre? You know, like we all know what Luca Turin was doing there. He was trying to undermine Eugene as a perfume house because he was a YouTuber. You know,
yeah.
And then he started crying off with his fucking. He sent it to all his fucking subscribers on fucking Twitter to try and come and fucking have a look at it, and loads of people press dislike, but at the same time they don't realize there's no difference between the like and the dislike button.
Especially when you have to pay to read it. Especially when you have to pay to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty stupid, but not to worry.
Disclaimer: I like Descendre.
You've got a bottle, haven't you?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's a really. I actually think it's a really. I mean, people who say it reminds them of sort of like them sort of green masculines. They're not wrong. It does have elements of that, but I mean, when you put so many notes together, you're always going to come up with associations, but it doesn't mean it's the same thing. For me, Descendre has a sort of a complexity, a thickness, a development to it. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a fragrance I could wear all the time, because it demands attention when you wear it. There's a lot going on. It speaks firmly. It's not like a breezy wear, but I enjoy it, and the time I do. I mean, it's a type of fragrance I'll wear on a quiet day when I can really ponder on it. And it's one that you definitely catch. You know, if you're going out for a walk, you catch wisps of it around you, and it makes you think. Plus, it's a tube rose, and you know what I'm like for tube roses. Even though I don't get it as like a traditional tube rose, that bubblegummy tube rose that you see everywhere, or fracas, buttery. It's definitely more of the sort of mushroomy green tube rose.
That's the bit that scares me off that fragrance. Actually, the tuberose is a bit scary. It's I don't like tuberose. You know what I mean? Like like you love a tuberose, and I really don't like tuberose. There's only one, strangely, that you presented to us once that I actually liked, and it was the Nuit de Bakelite.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And that is a pretty great fragrance, that actually.
To be fair, the tuberose, even there, again, it's that very green, mushroomy tuberose, but it's really overshadowed by a lot of carrot seed, angelica. Actually, to be honest, Nuit de Bakelite is an awesome fragrance for me. That's really good stuff. I have a bottle somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's good. Carl asked, what's my favorite house right now? Do you know what? I really have a special place for Parfum d'Empire. I know you don't like them, or you didn't think they were great.
I don't. It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't like them. I think they're very good. There was only one of them or two of them, maybe two of them, that I wanted to buy.
Yeah.
I think they're extremely well made.
They're just, it's really good perfumery, and each one feels inspired.
I heard a coughing Lee there.
Yeah, he's probably it could be the Brinier in the air.
That's killing him off. Poor Lee. How is Lee? Is Lee okay?
He's good. He's good. Good. Of course.
Happy days. Yeah, Brinier will do that to you. It's a very.
Well, I regret putting it on skin. Do you know what? It's 9 o'clock, and that's going to be with me in my dreams. You know.
Yeah, it's going to be there all night, isn't it? It's not going to let go. It's a big. It's got. Can you smell the Aki Gala wood in it?
Do you know? I've never. I did smell Aki Gala wood once. Someone smuggled some out because it's still a captive, but I can't detect it in this. The only fragrance that really stands out that I can smell the Aki Gala wood more than anything is the Un Amaret from Etat Libre d'Orange. but that's because it's dosed so high. I'd have to get my nose on the stuff again to really be able to pick it out. I mean, I know it's like a patchouli material, but my mind is trying to figure out like what type of patchouli is this. Does that make sense? Because otherwise, it just blends in with other things.
Yeah.
So I can't really say much about that.
It's a spicy meatball, isn't it? It's a potent thing. Like I get a lot of when I smell it, I get a lot of sheer kind of amber woody kind of thing about it, you know? Like it's just too much.
Yeah.
I smell that shit a lot. So,
to be honest with you, I mean, if it's her last release, it's a little bit. I mean, she said actually, I was a little bit more excited about this one because it was talk of being a sheep, and then the oak wood. I mean, the oak wood comes through a little bit, and I'm at, that is a little redeeming quality for me. But I would have rather have been more sheep than what it is.
yeah. It's a fruit chewy.
Yeah, for me, it's.
Let's call it what it is. It's a fruit chewy. It's a fruity patchouli fragrance.
Yeah, and that's why I think I'd rather have been more sheep.
Do you know what surprised me?
More... Sorry?
No, go on.
What surprised you? No, I would rather have been more patchouli heavy, for example. And I don't mind the fruitiness. If she wants to go for a fruit, I'm not averse to a fruitiness in the fragrance if it's balanced nicely. I just wish that maybe there was more of a floral component as well, in a way, to sort of, because florals can be quite dry, and I think it would dry it out a little bit.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Like it. What surprised me was her saying that she'd been working on this for years. You know, like I read that and I was like, that's either a lie or you may have some kind of fucking like neurological condition, which has got us a bit worried, if I'm honest, because I'm like, how could you have been working on this for years? You know what I mean? And still come out with something this poor.
Yeah. Well, Pradeep says, let's be real, no big designer is going to release an old school shoe for this day and age. Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting Mitsuko, but the thing is, sheeps they're diverse beasts. It's basically it's like a very loose structure that you can play with, and there's a way you can make a sheep smell very modern or timeless, let's say, or not of an age. And I'm sure she could have done it, but for me, it's not sheep enough. And
yeah,
that's
like
why more of a dry floral element and more patchouli, and it would be more sheep.
I think that what I always remember is when I'm thinking about sheepras is that Koros is a sheepra, and so's Aventus.
See, this is where we disagree, Rich. I find Koros a fougere.
Oh, you're such a rascal.
It is. I'm because it's so lavender heavy and aromatic and like, yeah. I mean, for me, like sheep, I don't think oak moss when I think sheep. I think heavy patchouli florals.
You don't think oak moss when you think shit? That's one of the main components, man.
It's an overrated component, the oak moss. It's really if you go back and smell Mitsuko, for example, even you'll realize that you actually get more patchouli than the oak moss.
This is outrageous.
Honestly, I'm not just saying this. Okay, I'll give you an anecdote. I made a sheep, an intentional sheep, and showed it to another two perfumers. One of them, Maria. I won't say the other one. And they both said it's not enough patchouli. A sheep that if you go to perfume school, you'll learn that how important a patchouli is in the sheep. That's why actually one of my favorite fragrances, 31 Rue Cambon. I know there's a whole marketing is, oh, it's an oak moss free sheep and it's just using patchouli, and it's actually funny on a level because that's what a sheeper is anyway. It's not like a miracle making a sheep without any oak moss and just patchouli. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, and have I
This
just
is
blown your brains?
I'm shook. I'm shook. To me, very cool.
I mean, oak moss is a lovely material, and it has an important place in many classic sheeps, and it does give like a sort of inky, warm, what we associate with that sort of mossiness. And it's a lovely, actually, to be honest with you, oak moss is one of the few raw materials that I will just pick up, open a jar, and smell neat just for my own pleasure. That sounds creepy, but that it's honestly a gorgeous material. But when you're actually making a sheep, what you know in a sheep, the patchouli honestly is doing all the work. It's the real backbone material because oak moss, it's a fixative. It's a very light note. It sits in the background. It's not there to really give the sheep all the structure it needs for everything. Because when you think of see, for portrait of a lady is a sheep. Why? Because of the patchouli. It's not really an oak moss fragrance. It has a lot of patchouli. It interacts with the rose. It goes from top to heart to base. It interacts with all the ingredients. It's a bit like many of like Isui Super or an oud. It's a structure. It's the backbone. It's the spine of a sheep. The patchouli, and I've done it. I've tried to make sheeps, and it's like something's not right, and it's not enough patchouli. You have to go heavy on the patchouli. Go back and smell Mitsuko, and then think patchouli, and it will stick out like a sore thumb. Oh my god, there's the patchouli.
I don't know, man. I still think when I smell stuff like, because I wore Heritage last week, and that is literally lavender and patchouli. Like, that is like 90% of the fragrance, if not more. You know, it's a huge
Yeah.
amount. A huge amount. You know, and that, and then Beau de Jour as well. Beau de Jour's got that like aromatic rosemary, fucking thyme sage thing at the top, and then it's got it's got what's the other one? It's got that lavender in the mid, and then the big patchouli in the base. To me, Sheepra is bergamot. I mean, you know what I'm going to say here. It's like bergamot, florals, moss. You know, like it's got that kind of woodland floor sort of thing going on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not saying that moss hasn't got a place in a sheep, or labdanum has a place. The amber, the florals have a place. The citrus or the top notes you want to go, the spice, they all have places. But the patchouli, you cannot make. Okay, put it this way: you can make a sheep without oak moss. You can make a sheep without labdanum, but you cannot make a sheep without patchouli.
Are you sure you can make a sheep without those things?
Yes.
Your conviction unnerves me.
Yes, 100%. And the people I've learned from, yes.
What
And I
can
mean,
you? What?
if there's actually, this is actually some advice. If anyone out there reading this is dabbling in creating their own fragrances, and you want to make like your own sort of like sheep, or you want to make your own Mitsuko, don't be afraid to go heavy on the patchouli. It will pay off in a good way.
So what can you? What can you make a fougere without?
For me, you can't do without the coumarin. That is an important part. The coumarin really shapes the mood of it for being a fougere. So much so that sometimes I smell a fragrance that's not marketed as a fougere, but can have so much coumarin that it makes you think this could be a fougere. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I mean, that's not a natural, that's a sort of, I know you get tonka bean is the more natural, what we associate with coumarin, but yeah. Some people say
Halverson?
lavender, but for me, lavender, you can make a fougere without lavender. You can use some sort of other aromatic. There are many different patchoulis. You could put patchouli with more amber, and you'll get more of like an ambery patchouli scent. But if you want the sheep, so the structure, floral, some top note could be spice, citrus, a floral heart. You need that patchouli. You need the patchouli to what is not just in the base; it works through all throughout the fragrance.
Weird. See, that's not what you smell though. Like that's not what I smell when I smell that kind of. I smell that kind of fragrance, you know. Like I always think chypres are much lighter than fougères. I see fougère and I think like massiveness, you know.
Mm.
Like fougère's definitely got mass to it, and it's
Yeah.
like for chypres I sense more airiness, you know, less gravity.
Yeah. Is Lidge a sheep? Not for me, no. It's missing the other elements of a sheep. Again, patchouli isn't the only ingredient you need. It's the sort of foundation, and then you build around that with the basic components of a sheep. So big floral heart. You need the flowers. You need when I say flowers, don't think flowery perfumes. It could be something as light as a lily, or it could be rose. It could be carnation. It could be a jasmine, a tuberose. It could be champaca. But then usually it goes nice with a citrus top note or pink pepper. So the reason why I say not always citrus, because Portrait of a Lady, for example, is a sheep. So it has that floral heart, the heavy amounts of patchouli. But then the opening had a little bit of black currant. I don't know if it has much anymore. Maybe a touch of something citrusy, but a lot of pepper as well, because it goes nicely with rose. You have to sort of complement it.
Interesting. Interesting.
But no,
Which fragrance family do you think's the hardest to make, technically?
God. Do you know what? Oddly, I think it's actually quite hard to make a cologne, like an eau de cologne, but because it's really hard to balance it.
Right.
They can actually be quite. Maybe it's just me, but it can be quite hard to get like a right balance because citrus is in that. When I say that on a performance level, that they actually from top to dry down, it creates a whole fragrance. It doesn't fade or disappear at one point and suddenly appears, or it's gone within 10 minutes. It's actually quite hard to sort of create a really nice balance, flowing, smooth cologne. Like you can throw a couple of citrusy, fresh cologne style ingredients together, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a good cologne, or doesn't mean it's going to diffuse.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And I know it sounds, but sometimes the most simple things are the hardest to get right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
that
because
analogy might
there's
help.
lots of different ways to fuck them up.
Yeah. And it's tempting because it's one of those things that can actually, it's best kept simple. It's really easy to overcomplicate. And it just doesn't work.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It's I get the principle. I get the principle. Have you made many eau de colognes?
I've made many crap ones.
Mm.
I speak from experience. But they don't diffuse, or they're gone, or they're too bitter, or is it too sharp? Not on like many things. It's hard to get like a good balance. That's why when I smell a really nice cologne, I usually buy it because I can't do that. It's
Yeah.
they're really good. I have a lot of respect for a really good eau de cologne style fragrance.
What do you think a cologne needs that it cannot be without?
Well, for me, it's just more in terms of freshness. It's more of a concept, you know.
Right.
For me, it just has to purvey freshness. Like, and usually we think citruses and stuff, but you know, if someone made like a very fresh tea type cologne or something, no citrus, I can get it and say, okay, that's I get why it's a cologne. You know, it has to be very bracing and sort of invigorate. For me, it's more of a concept.
Eucalyptus.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like what material does every eau de cologne need. You know, I don't think there is
Yeah.
any like that.
Mint.
I mean, if you're really pushing me, I would say something like petit grain, which is the leaf of the orange. That's usually found in many clones, and it's like the foundation stone of things like 4711. You know, usually that's one of the ingredients people would use in the traditional style. Um, the petit grain.
Petit Grain. I didn't know Petit Grain was an orange leaf. I didn't
It
know
is
that.
leaves. Neroli is the flower. Petit grain is the leaves and the twigs. The little, yeah. Actually, have you ever had the chance to go up to an orange tree and just touch it and smell different parts of it, not just the fruit?
No.
If you ever go to a garden center, they usually have little orange trees. Pick a leaf, break it, smell it. If you have the flowers, smell them, and you'll see the neroli, the petit grain. And actually, as materials, raw materials, the naturals, they extract really well, and they're really
Okay.
beautiful materials. So there's no issues there. Pradeep says Eau de Gentian Blanche, fantastic. Pradeep, I haven't shut up about that fragrance for the last year. It's the one fragrance lately. It makes my eyes roll black. I really love that fragrance. And talk about something that's masterfully blended. It actually might be my favorite Jean Claude Eleanor fragrance now.
Interesting, because yes, I've heard both of you talking about that fragrance. I thought you were conspiring.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm just smelling it now. I mean, it's like for me, it's like a very dry tea, irisy, but then it's got a lot of orange blossom in there, a beautiful sort of orangey citrus. And there's a lot of people say it's really weak. For me, it's fucking powerful. Don't think cologne. For me, it lasts me all day, but in a good way. It doesn't linger because I think it's quite musk heavy in a good way. It's gorgeous. It's one of those that if you smell, say if you go to Hermes boutique and you're smelling Gallop and H24 and Tier, and you spray that on a blotter, you go, you might not smell much, and you forget about it. It's one, put it on your skin. Just go there and try it, put it on your skin and walk away, and then see if you like it or not.
Right.
I think it's a fragrance that deserves that. Some people say it reminds them of grey flannel. I half and half get that.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
What? Oh, it's Eugen.
Hi, Jura.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks. How are you?
I'm okay. Okay.
I just got back from the gym. I had my protein and my eggs and my smoothie. And I think the peanut butter went down the wrong way. So
Oh, no.
I've got a frog in my throat. Yeah. But other than that, everything's good. Everything's great. Yeah. I got a couple minutes before I go into work. So I thought I'd call in and say hello. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing good.
It's fantastic.
I'm glad to hear.
Absolutely.
What I miss?
Nothing really. We've just been talking about colognes and sheep res. And do you think what do you think about Koros? Do you think Koros is a fougere or a sheep res?
I think it could be both. I think it could be whatever you want it to be because it has characteristics of both. Really, I think. If I had to give it a definite, I would say sheep, bro.
Sheep.
Yeah, because of the oak moss. But it definitely it has ferny like things in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I get like a green kind of, not a camphor, but like a green vibe from it.
Kouros is one of those really interesting fragrances where it's kind of difficult to break down. You know, there's so many things going on in there. And when I spray Kouros, it's like my mind goes to so many different places. It doesn't really pinpoint one. It's like, oh my God, what was this? What was this? What was this? What was this? Like I see so many things when Kouros takes off, you know? It's almost like
especially the older
rocket.
stuff.
It's almost like a space shuttle taking off, and you just don't know where to look. Like there's so much excitement, you know what I mean? It's like it's a big perfume.
There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of those 80s fragrances, to be fair, they really blur the line of what's a fougere and sheep.
yeah,
Like,
I think they kind of mix them in and out.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because there was a weird stage of like masculine and feminine perfumes sort of crossing over. So they was trying to sort of push each in a different direction, if that makes sense. And it was like the meeting point.
Yeah, it's like that Bourdon thing as well.
Yeah.
How do you guys see Kouros?
I think it's a sheep.
Jura?
It's fougere.
You think it's a fougere?
Yeah, it's just the whole coumarin lavender thing. To me, it's closer to most fougères. I think maybe the animalic part might make people think more sheep because we're more used to seeing civet in a sheep than a fougere.
I
think it can be both, really.
Yeah, it's got that animalic sort of thing. It's very sort of just disorientating with the like it kind of it stands in the way of what your normal approach is to like trying to classify it. You know, the animalic sort of like puts a whisk in like in your brain and starts going, go on, try and figure out what this is. You know, like the animalic aspect of it's outrageous.
To me, it smells like French rugby fans.
Ugh.
Because you get a lot here in Ireland that come over for the rugby, because Ireland's big on the rugby, and they will stink out buses with Kouros.
Outrageous! Is it still selling in France then?
It must be. It must be, or they're just coming here to buy it.
Do you guys not get the pisser vibe with Kouros?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like a washroom.
Yeah, totally.
Like a dirty washroom. I'm talking like with toilet paper on the floor, with piss on the floor, dirty urinals. Like not a clean, like luxury hotel washroom. I'm talking filthy washroom.
Yes, definitely working men's club. Gross pigs.
Yeah.
Gross pigs.
Spa. It's not a bathroom spa.
Yeah, it's gross.
You know why that is?
It's a ditty party. You know That's what it smells like, kind of.
You know why that is? Did I mention it on a stream with you, Rich? That the scent of men's urinal cakes copied Kouros. It was especially in the UK.
No way.
Really?
Yeah. So it wasn't. People smell Kouros and say it smells like urinal cakes, but it's actually so clearly. You know, if you're working in functional perfumery and you want, and I don't know about the world, but this is specifically for the UK. Kouros was a really good seller in the UK, and it's very popular men's. So when you're going to create a scent in a bathroom that smells good and men will like, you're going to go probably what the best smelling thing at the time is. So they made basically the urinal cakes to smell a bit like Kouros, and it was a good fragrance because they didn't make it as animalic as the actual fragrance, because the pee part you add to it. You don't need to add the pee part to the scent, if that makes sense. You know, it's only when you pee on it that it now smells like Kouros.
It's a very speaking of that, there is a fragrance. I think it's called PD. You know, that you add your own pee to the fragrance to complete it. Are you guys familiar with that one?
Outrageous. I've never heard of that.
Really?
Well,
Yeah, look it up. I think it's called peaty. You're supposed to add your own urine to it.
Mental.
How have you guys not heard of this?
I've
There's
never
YouTube
heard of this at
reviews
all.
out there. There's YouTube reviews out there of it.
Well, I'm telling you now, that's definitely not IFRA compliant.
They actually, when you buy the bottle, you get the bottle. They leave space inside the bottle for you to add whatever mil. They tell you how many mil of urine.
No.
Yeah.
That is
Rich,
outrageous. Somebody
Rich,
in the
you're
chat
big on
must know.
dehydration.
Somebody in the chat, please confirm.
So, who makes it?
You got to Google. I think it's called Petey. The perfume might be called Petey. I don't remember the brand.
How are you spelling that?
I don't. Just Google Petey perfume.
Petey perfume.
Yeah, with piss. I don't know. I had just the keywords.
Petey.
They had they weren't a one-hit wonder. They had a couple of hits from what I remember. Like there's two hits that stood out from the brand.
Petey Audrieu.
That might be it.
Audrieu, Petey, and Animalix. A small Italian niche company. Petey.
Are you going to sample it?
Audrieu, Petey. That's it. Yes, it is. It's by Audrieu. It's called Petey, Honeyed Tobacco and Animalix, Kafkaesque from 2014. My God. That's outrageous. It's on the Kafkaesque website. The old blog.
Does she still post?
Pass.
I'd be able to tell you in a minute, probably.
It's been a while since she's posted. It's probably been a few years.
That is bonkers. That has got me absolutely fucked in the head. I don't even know where to go with that. I wonder what it makes it smell like. Is that because if you're pissing it yourself, it gives you like your own kind of scent?
I guess the personal. I'm not sure how it does in like resale, how the resale value holds up, but
yes,
I'm not sure I'd want to use a bottle of that stuff.
That is wild. And you've got like fucking women selling their farts in a jar. You know what I mean? I imagine
you got women selling their socks online and making like making a living off of it.
Yeah,
like socks.
Yeah, big amounts. Worn underwear, worn socks, worn fucking.
Guys will pay. Guys are the biggest simps. They'll pay for anything, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, men are a disgrace. They're absolutely outrageous. They always have been.
Perverts, the biggest perverts.
Just the most outrageous, massive, raging perverts ever. You know, like and just doing scandalous shit. The horrible men.
Apparently, there's been an interest in P. Diddy's fragrances recently. And the marketers are surrounding them.
They should get rid of all celebrity fragrances. Torch them all. Every single one.
Me Pavarotti. They'll never take us alive.
He's not like the celebrity like today's like these celebrities, Hollywood celebrities, right?
Yeah, he actually like had talent and stuff.
I'd say get rid of all the Hollywood celebrity fragrances.
Like Ariana Grande Cloud.
Yeah. All those scams.
Yes.
Does Jim Carrey have a fragrance?
I don't know. You wouldn't put it past him.
I wonder what that would smell like.
Well, Muhammad Al-Fayed, loads of like the bloke who used to own Harrods. It's just come out that he was a diddler as well, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently he was a fucking raging toucher. You know what I mean?
Apparently, it was well known that he used to carry around condoms and pry on certain women in Harrods, knowing that they wanted positions. He apparently wasn't a nice man. I'm sure the royal family are jumping for joy at this news.
Yeah, no doubt they are. But I mean, he's the man who put a fucking statue of Michael Jackson outside a football stadium. You know what I mean?
What was the purpose of?
What was the purpose of putting the statue outside?
Yeah, of Michael Jackson.
Just because he could.
Okay.
So it was just the guy had no affiliation with the football club. Just Muhammad Al Fayed liked him and wanted to pay tribute to him and put a fucking statue of him outside the ground. And that was it. And the fans were just like, "What the fuck?"
Does Michael Jackson have a fragrance?
I imagine he does. I'd be very surprised if there was no Michael Jackson fragrance.
I don't remember ever seeing a Michael Jackson fragrance.
I think there is one. I remember seeing one in Fragrantical once. I think it talk about sheep. I think it was a sheep, but very 80s.
Hee for men. You know what I mean? Fucking outrageous. Fucking. I just can't. I don't know. You look back. It's easy to look back. You know, hindsight's 20/20. But like some of the shit that fucking went down back in the day is just bananas. Loads of stuff's going to come out about Vince McMahon as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's real, but if you look up Michael Jackson, it's called Legend of Michael Jackson or Mystique. I don't know if actually him, but they're weird bottles. It's got like pictures of him on the bottle.
Okay. I wouldn't imagine his estate would allow that if it wasn't him, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe it's a great break. Rich, it could be your next Balenciaga pot. Legend.
I wouldn't have thought so. But I remember hearing that Michael Jackson wore Bala Versailles.
Really?
Yeah, apparently Bala Versailles was Michael Jackson's fragrance.
Do you know what people are comparing the Michael Jackson fragrance to? And it's from 1989. Rocca Barocco Joint, Kuros, and Lagerfeld Classic.
I have literally today, this very day, just sold a bottle of Rocco Barocco's Joint. Outrageous.
Not bad, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Means he has some good taste.
Can you imagine if Michael Jackson was like a chorus man?
That would be sick. I imagine he wasn't a freshie.
I mean, he was big in the 70s and 80s, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, he was a strange man, no doubt. I mean, he got castrated by his parents. Like, you've got to remember that. Like, his parents castrated him when he was a boy to stop him from fucking losing his voice.
You kidding?
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
No, his dad fucking they had him castrated. I think it was chemically.
You're kidding.
I think they chemically castrated him as a boy.
That's why he never had kids.
Absolutely, yeah. That's like that.
He had a daughter, didn't he? He has a daughter. Wait.
I think that. Well, it was definitely IVF, but whether it was his, whether it was done by like techniques, but it wasn't done normally. It wasn't through like having sex with Lisa Marie Presley. It was. I remember.
What a dad, eh?
His dad was a fucking evil man. Like his dad was absolutely awful.
I mean, in the sense, look where it got him. He got to the top of the world at one point. You know?
I would rather keep me bullets.
I'm sure there's a lot of sacrifice, but
functional testicles. Thank you very much. You know.
Yeah. What's the trade for fame? What's the cost?
Look at fucking. It actually smells more like Rocco Barocco Pour On. It wasn't officially released publicly because of licensing issues. Yeah.
It wasn't him.
No, it was probably someone who was trying to pull a fast one with the marketing. You know.
I mean, the bottle's outrageous.
Is it good?
Well, it's just got a picture of him on it. It definitely looks like that sort of fan type thing. You know, the picture's definitely not something he would pick.
Right. He definitely wore Bala Versailles. I'm absolutely certain of it. Like, I'd be absolutely shocked in my core. To me, this is like, I always thought it was common knowledge that Michael Jackson wore Bala Versailles. But apparently not. But yeah, Michael Jackson was a huge Bala Versailles fan. You know. So
I wonder where he like where does Michael Jackson discover Bala Versailles? You know what I mean?
do you ever see that documentary when he went into Harrods and they closed the place? I don't think it was Harrods. It might have been actually. He went into a shopping center and they closed it.
Grocery store. Yeah, I saw he went shopping in the grocery store. He wanted to shop for his own groceries, and they closed the whole store for him. I saw that.
Yeah, there's another one where he's in like a department store, like a high-end department store, and they just close the place. And it's him walking around saying, "I'll have like fucking one of them and one of them, and I'll take one of them."
But how do you think he comes across something like Bala Versailles? You think he's like fragrance sniffing for something until he finds his scent, or somebody brings it to him? Like, how does he come across this? It's not a fragrance that you find every day. You know, it's not easy to find fragrance. You really have to dig for it.
I imagine that he was at some high-end like shopping center, or someone famous that he knew wore it. You know what I mean? Like one of the old dames or something. And he was at like a ball or he was at a party or something, and he smelled it on someone, and he thought, I really want to buy them.
Or,
you know what I mean?
How does like a bottle of Portrait of a Lady end up on Madonna's dressing room table? You know what I mean? Like, how does that end up there?
Yeah.
How do they encounter each other?
Prince wore Mugler cologne.
No, didn't Michael Jackson, wasn't he obsessed with his image being like Elizabeth Taylor or something? Or am I wrong? Who was it? There was an actress he was obsessed with. That actress could have worn Bala Versailles.
That's possible. But he was banging to his Bala Versailles. A fucking weird bastard. Very strange. Very strange to me.
What are you guys wearing?
I'm in Anthracite, Noir Anthracite by Tom Ford.
Noir a piece.
What are you wearing?
I'm not wearing anything right now. I'm just getting ready for work.
Put some pants on.
Yeah. Gotta get my underwear.
He's not wearing any pantaloons.
I'm in the comfort of my own backyard.
He is in his backyard. Are you having a nice time? Are you under the tree?
No, it's not really a tree. It's just like a big bush here.
Big bush?
Yeah, we got trees back here. Where are we? What happened? We got a tree. Where are we here? We got a tree there and a little tree there. But this is
lovely.
We just chopped down a tree in our back garden. It was encroaching onto the neighbours and destroying the fence. So my mother was like, "Whoa, it's going to knock down that shed if we're not careful." So she decided that the tree had to go. And now the tree is gone.
You're a bad fella.
Yep.
There were tree fellas in the back garden who knocked it down.
Guys, I got a jet. I got to start getting ready for work.
Oh no!
You got to head out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. We will stream about Vanilla Van Oud at some point.
We should do that very soon.
We should absolutely do that very soon.
Has Jura smelled it?
I have not. I haven't even smelled orange or Sirocco.
That's a shame.
I need to smell. I'm slipping behind.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's do it as soon as we can.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for coming on and blessing us.
Anytime, man. It's good to see you having guests on, and you're gonna keep doing this, or what's going on?
Yes, the YouTube app where I usually stream by myself has decided that it doesn't want to stream anymore. So I am now. I might have to get myself a StreamYard subscription.
Oh,
can you imagine?
cool.
Can't believe it.
Wow.
So
That's good.
I will have peeps on.
All right, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you, Eugen.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Cheers.
Adios.
See you later. Bye-bye, Eugene.
Rich.
Eugene. Sorry?
It's about time I should go and eat soon.
Outrageous. Give me 10 minutes.
10 minutes. My food is coming. It's hot.
Oh God. It's hot and bothered and sweaty. 10 minutes and then we get to 2 hours, Jura Rose. It would do my OCD the world of good.
Okay, I'll put my food in the oven.
Is it a bun? Is it a bun?
Got big buns.
Has it got big bun? Put that big bun in the oven.
I'll hide my big buns.
Big creamy buns.
But if my food is freezing cold, I will sue you.
I will be sued. It's all right. You cannot get blood from the stone.
Called Sue. I literally have a lawyer called Sue.
You will have a lawyer called Sue.
She is not a woman to mess with, Rich. I tell you.
Outrageous. Especially not over food.
Oh yeah, she's quite the rascal. Right, I'm
She's
just going to
quite
put my
the rascal.
So I had to get delivery, but I'm just going to put the oven on just to keep it heated.
Okay. Like put the oven on low so it doesn't necessarily cook any further. It just doesn't get any colder.
No, I mean I'll probably just stick it at 100 degrees because it'll just keep it warm.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
what are you having?
You have to keep it over 60 degrees, otherwise bacteria will grow rampant.
Well, I mean, not in 10 minutes. Sorry?
Do you know what's really dodgy? Do you know what food is really dodgy? You have to sort of keep at certain temperatures. And rice.
I was going to say rice, because it can form arsenic.
Yeah, but also certain types of bacteria which really aren't good for your stomach. That's why if like next day rice always makes really good fried rice, but you're better off just letting it cool down to room temperature, leaving it in the fridge as quickly as you can. Because if you just leave it out at room temperature, I mean, some people can handle it, but some people's stomachs would just be.
Yeah. Gross.
Not good.
Grossed out. I'm big and scared about the I'm big and scared about the old what's it called? You know? What is it called? The old rice and food poisoning and stuff.
The worst food poisoning I had is I went to a Japanese restaurant and I had some raw octopus.
Ooh!
Yeah, raw octopus. And let me say, can I be honest with you, the scariest thing on a movie or screen you would ever see me is like a big giant octopus or a kraken. Not because it's scary, it's because it just brings a physical reaction in my stomach, just the thought of it, all those tentacles. Do you know what I mean?
Outrageous.
Yeah. Ooh, not even the thought of it. It's kind of my reaction to your butternut, the sweet potato.
Yeah, I'm not out there. Frightening. I'm scared of that shit. I'm scared of that shit.
The octopus wasn't alive. It was basically like an octopus sashimi, but it was in wasabi. It was a very good Japanese restaurant, funny enough. It wasn't moving or anything. It wasn't like it was chopped up into like a fine ceviche type thing. But yeah, no. Oof.
Were you shitting through the eye of a needle, were you?
Horrible. Never again. To be honest with you, I'm always quite careful of raw foods. I'm not one of these people that likes. But there was just like, try it, it's gorgeous. I'm like, I only had a little bit.
I'm not eating any kind of seafood. That shit is just so bad. Like,
yeah. Well, actually, to be fair, I like sushi. I am actually a sushi fan, and that's fine. But yeah, octopus, and you have to be careful with shellfish as well. Like, I've seen people eating raw prawns. I'm like, no,
No,
no.
no,
I'm pretty
no,
convinced by
no.
your no.
Absolutely not.
Do you know what? I just need you in just your voice, like sitting on my shoulder when I get offered these foods, and you're just going no, and I'm like, yeah, no.
I'm just like, no, you just can't. No, you're not having that at all. That is outrageous behaviour.
You like your food cooked. I know you do.
Cute.
You like it well cooked. Actually, how do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
Okay, so you're not completely averse to an undercooked piece of meat.
I refuse to eat raw fucking meat. Like those people who like it like fucking proper bloody as fuck. It's just disgusting. Like,
What in Germany? For what's it called? There might be some German. It's they for breakfast they put raw pork mince on bread with onions. Apparently, you have to be very careful with what the pork quality is, and it's all. But pork is one you have to be careful of. There's actually a story of a German guy I knew. He didn't like sushi, but this Japanese guy took him to a sushi restaurant, knowing he didn't like sushi and raw fish. And to get him back, when the Japanese guy came all the way back to Germany, he took him out for one of those raw pork mince, knowing that he would also be equally disgusted.
oh god, oh dear. Was there scenes?
I'm sure there was. They're probably arguing with food poisoning in their bellies.
Oof. It's just such a. I fucking just wow. You know what I mean? Like food poisoning is just something I'm not prepared to fucking deal with. That shit would make me fucking panic. You know what I mean? I would get the fear. Excuse me. I would absolutely get
food
the
poisoning. It's the sweats. You know it's food poisoning because you just get the sweats as well. Like your body's like having this like reaction of like, what the hell is this? When your body just wants to start sweating. It's doing everything to get.
I'll tell you what else. I'll tell you what else as well. When something goes wrong with my guts, right? I get the fear, right? Like I get genuine fucking existential dread. I get like I think I'm dying here. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know how they say your brain and your gut are linked? Like intrinsically linked.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They are.
Yeah, and it's like I get like a distinct like my serotonin level just dries up completely. And I'm like, everything is over. The universe is going to end. My existence is pointless. Everything is fucking terrible. I hate you all. I'm going to fucking die. Do you know what I mean? And it's like that's like how I get when I get like stomach problems. It's so strange. It's so I genuinely get like terror, existential terror.
The thing of food really can be the difference between you being very happy and very grumpy.
Yes.
Like people say I'm very upset or grumpy. I'm like, have you had lunch?
The chew giveth and the chew taketh away.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty remarkable, really. I'm thinking about going downstairs and having some cereal. Personally, I have the option of fruit and fiber, and I have the option of crunchy nut cornflakes. What do you think?
Crunchy nut.
Yeah.
Crunchy nut. I for me, like crunchy nut is the type of, it's like I have certain cereals I like in the evening. Do you know? It's an evening cereal.
I like Weetabix warmed up in the evening.
With what? Milk?
Like milk, like Weetabix warmed up.
What do you just put warm milk on there? Do you stick it in the microwave? Do you get it, boil the kettle? And
No,
warm
I put
it
the milk. I put
water?
so I fucking get the cereal. Put two or three biscuits in, all right, and then I put milk from the fridge on, and then I put it in the microwave.
Yeah,
that is what I do, and then I take it out.
You know, milk in the microwave, you have to be careful. You can easily burn it. And it goes into, it creates that little skin on top and then it's ruined.
Burned milk?
Yeah. Have you ever burnt milk in the microwave accidentally? You kept it in there too long. Well, not burned, but it separates and, it.
This is outrageous. An outrageous claim. Anyway, we will leave it on that outrageous claim. I'm feeling bad that I'm preventing you from your dinner now. So I will let you go. I hope you will enjoy your dinner.
I will. It'll be gone within a second.
Yeah, I'm quite hungry.
By the time I'm in the stream and send you a voice note, you'll be like, "How's your dinner?" And I'm like, "Finished, done,
gone, dealt with,
gone." One gulp.
Thanks very much, Jura. I appreciate you coming on and keeping me company tonight.
It's my pleasure.
Even though I fell asleep before the stream and that we should have been fucking finished by now, but not to worry.
Outrageous. I will slap you for it.
Ooh, I look forward to that, Jura Rose. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jura. Thank you, everybody, for watching and for liking and commenting. And thank you, Eugene, as well. And we will see you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.